Lauren is a 26-year-old receptionist who has been working for our firm for 3 years. She and her boyfriend of many years recently broke up, and she is bringing her emotions into the workday. Typically, she's very headstrong, detail-oriented. She's a hard worker and is very focused while at work. She's never had any issues of the past. We're going to have to approach her problems during the workday during her breakup. Lauren, you've been really weird lately, and I noticed that you kind of stopped doing your work. Did something happen?
Yeah, my boyfriend totally cheated on me last week, and it was so stupid because she was there and he knew I was coming home, and it was a whole thing, and I was just like, why would you be that dumb? You know what I mean?
Just men, they're all just jerks.
Yeah,
but
they're pigs.
I just really need you to start focusing on your work because it's really affecting everybody in the office.
Yeah, but they don't understand what I'm going through. They need to offer their sympathy to me. I'm going through a really tough time. Can't they just?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know what? You're right. Let's just. I'm gonna talk to everyone else and tell them that they need to be more sympathetic towards you. So
yeah, I'd totally do it for them. So can't they just?
I know you would. So why don't you have the rest of the week off?
Yeah.
And we'll pick up next Friday.
I might need 2 weeks, but whatever.
Okay, that's great. We'll see you then.
Okay.
All right, great. Hi, Lauren. I noticed that the last few days you've seemed to be unfocused on your work. I know the situation with you and your boyfriend no longer being together. I know that this can be difficult for you, and I recognize that you're upset right now, but we cannot let this emotional behavior affect your workday.
Yeah, I have been pretty upset, but I agree. I don't want it to affect my work.
Within the last few days, I recognize that you've been lost in the day. You haven't been completing tasks on time. You've also been very disconnected from the work. Your work has not been as strong as it usually is, and this is just really negatively affecting your work and causing a bad work ethic for you. It's also hurting the rest of the staff as they need to catch up on the work that you're not completing.
Yeah, I don't want to make anyone else fall behind because of me.
Lauren, I understand that the situation is difficult. Everyone in the office has gone through a situation that causes them to be disconnected from the work for a day or two. I recognize what you're going through, but it has been almost 4 days of an ongoing struggle. I know you cannot just shut off your feelings when walking into the office, but we need to figure out a way to decrease these feelings and the negative problems in cases during the workday.
I think you're right. We need to find a way to fix that.
Okay. Again, I understand what you're going through. I know it can be difficult to shut off those negative emotions when coming to work. Right now it's 3 o'clock, our office closes at 5, so why don't you go home early, take the next couple of hours to recoup. I think this will allow you to get a clear head and figure out the best way for you to work during this tough situation.
I think that's a great idea. I'm going to go home.
Great. Starting tomorrow, I hope we can really try to get your work back on track. We need to make sure that you are getting your work done on time and doing it to the standard that you usually hold. It may be helpful to keep your phone shut off during the day so it doesn't distract you. It may also be helpful to play some light music at your desk. I really think we will be able to move forward from this. I know the situation is difficult, but with time it gets easier. You need to begin to focus on your work days again while you're here. For now, you may leave early and enjoy a few hours off. I hope that tomorrow we'll be able to start fresh.
I think those are great ideas. I'm going to start doing those things. Thank you for your help.
Great. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Christine is a new hire, a girl of about 25 with a degree in professional writing and a great deal of experience as an athlete. Her job is for a sports publication that covers lesser-known sports. This meeting was called in order to go over her workload and her goals that she will have to be attained per week and per day. All right, hi. I called you in here to kind of talk about what we're going to expect of you here. Basically, the overview of it is you're going to need to put out a couple of pieces a week on whatever your expertise is in. You have to turn them in the editors by a certain time, and there's only a limit per day and not per week though. So does that sound good?
So is there a certain format you want, or?
I mean, it's a sports publication, so we'd like to have in kind of a journalistic format. So it looks like you're writing about the sports.
Okay. I should be able to get it done. I mean, I have a dog at home, so I do have to take care of it, and sometimes it gets hard time-wise.
Okay, well, I mean, if you're crunched on time for your work, you should probably just let the dog go without food for a bit if it has to.
I mean,
you know, we need to get the content out there. Your dog should not get in the way of that.
I mean, I can try.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds like a good plan.
Good.
Great. Thanks.
Hi, Christina. Thank you for meeting me to go over in detail what you will be doing for us here.
Of course, thanks for giving me that wonderful opportunity to work here.
Okay, so in this job, you already know that you'll be writing about sports for our publication that consists mainly of sports that receive less coverage than bigger, more popular sports like football, basketball, and baseball.
Yes, I'm excited.
So, of course, we need to make sure we gain viewership for our site to make sure that we can provide an adequate amount of coverage, because many other publications do not discuss in depth the intricacies of these sports if they give them any coverage at all. Now, in order to do this, your requirements are that weekly, each writer must submit at least 6 pieces to your respective editor. Daily, you should not be submitting more than 2 pieces, but you have to save them. If you do, you have to save them for later in the week. This is because we only have 2 editors and there's so few of them, they can't handle more than 2 per writer and still get through them in order to have them published in time. Each day, all your work must be turned in to the editor by 5 o'clock so they have time to edit the work before it gets published. Do you think these seem to be reasonable goals?
Yeah, that seems like a very fair output within the time frame.
We also may ask you to step out of your sport of expertise in order to keep a well-rounded publication, so you will be expected to be knowledgeable in other categories. However, you will be not expected to know all of the ins and outs. If that happens, we will need to have a piece that is more based on statistics or knowledge in terms of something within the sport that has a more general appeal. However, you will have access to the other writers with other sports expertise. Therefore, you will also be required to meet with one of them in each section in order to more solidify your knowledge about the other sports. Although you will not be expected to put out more than 1 or 2 of these within a month. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I can handle it as long as I'm allowed to learn and read up on what I'm about to write before I'm expected to turn a piece in.
Of course, that's why we do not require more than 2 pieces like that per month. Now, as the manager of this section of our publication, in order to meet our requirements, I would say you should try to write at least 1 piece per day. You don't have to write every day, but if you spend too many days not writing, you will get too far behind your weekly expectations to catch up. Also, another thing that is helpful is that if there is a day where you can write a bunch of different articles, maybe write them ahead of time. This will give you some flexibility later in the week in terms of writing. You can just turn in a piece you have written in advance as part of your daily output, although you have to make sure the piece is still timely and will be of interest to the populace when it is published.
That's a good idea, and it's helpful to know that I can work ahead if I want.
Good. So overall, you must make sure you put out at least 6 pieces per week. It can be more than that you wish. However, you are not allowed to turn in more than 2 daily due to our short staffing with editors. You can write extra pieces as long as they are not turned in to get ahead of the curve. On the days you turn in your work, it must be in by 5 o'clock. You will also be required to meet some writers from other sections in order to help with your knowledge outside of your sport of expertise. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, those are fair criteria, and the time frames are very doable.
Perfect. Myself and the managers of other sections will meet with you every Friday in order to go over your works from throughout the week, as well as discuss ideas for articles for the upcoming week. You don't need to have more than 2, but we like to know what our writers are thinking ahead in order to avoid not having enough ideas so we can keep a steady flow of content.
It sounds great, and I look forward to working here.
We're glad to have you here. We will have a first meeting next Friday once you have started writing and putting out some content. Thank you.
Thanks.
The job is set in a marketing agency. The employee Jake has been with the agency for about 6 months and works as one of your digital marketers. Jake is a very talented designer, but he frequently shows up late, if at all, and is very poor at communicating with anyone, including yourself. So you've called Jake in to address these problems and work with him to how to solve them.
Go.
Have a seat, Jake.
All right, I already am.
All right, cool. Hold on.
Barely.
So why
Hold on. All right, Jake. We've been having some issues lately. You've been late a lot, and you don't talk to anybody, and I need you to hold. Okay, all right, yeah. So we need to work on your communication skills, and you need to stop being late to work, because that's being a real issue for me, and it's something you need to work on.
Oh, okay. I mean, how should I try and work on the communication skills?
I'm sure you can figure it out yourself. You're a bright young man, you can talk to somebody else in the office, Google it. You got this, bro. I hired you for a reason. Use that noggin up there. How's it going, Jake? Just want to talk to you for a little bit. So you're just about reaching the 6-month point with us, and I want to do a quick overview of how everything has gone in that time span. I want to start off by saying that it's been great having you with us. You're a very talented designer, and you add a lot of value to the agency.
Thank you.
However, there are some areas of your work that could see some improvement. Content-wise, everything is great. It's fantastic, but we're going to have to work on your communication skills. You produce great content, but no one knows what the product is going to look like until you reveal it at the deadline when it's due. This is not yet, but could produce issues in the future if you are working with other people on a large project. It is important to communicate with your coworkers, and especially myself, with the work that you're doing and where you are regarding coming into work. By doing this, we can work more efficiently as an agency, knowing that everyone is on the same page. What do you think about this?
I really like working here, and I know that I'm not the best communicator, but I usually just like to do things my own way, because I know that I can get it done really well. I didn't think it was that much of an issue because there haven't really been problems yet with the work style I've had. So I suppose if it's that noticeable and can cause problems like that in the future, there probably is something I should do to work on it.
Okay, great. I know that changes like this can be frustrating to take time, so it's something that I would like to help you with. What are ways you think that you can improve on this?
I suppose I could send updates of my progress to you or whoever wants to look at them when working on something to make sure it's okay. It's a long commute for me, so I've actually been looking into getting an apartment in the city to be closer to work, so that could make things easier to actually get here.
All right, yeah, that's great. Both those are great things that you could do. I'd also like to schedule us to meet personally each week just for a few minutes just to check up on the work that you're doing. I'm also going to put you on some tasks with other people soon, so I would like you to work with them from time to time so you can communicate with other employees. I'm going to introduce you to Sarah, who will be the lead on the project that you're going to be working on. You will work with her closely so you can stay up to date with her, and she can keep you on your toes with the work and deadlines and things like that. You can give her your phone number and call her or myself if you're ever running late or can't come in for some reason. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works. I think I can handle it.
Okay, great. So to summarize this meeting, you're going to work on sending updates for your projects to me, as well as we are going to meet weekly just to check up on how things are going. When you meet with Sarah and the rest of her team, you'll give her your number and communicate with her regarding about what you're working on. FYI, she'll be all over you if you don't do that, if you don't keep in touch with her, so make sure you do that. And finally, you're looking into getting a place closer to work so you can cut down on your tardiness. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right, great. Thanks for being with me, Jake.
All right,
Keep up
awesome.
the good work.
Cool.
Two of my employees at Mike's Deli are having a problem with each other. Alexa feels that Matt has been condescending and disrespectful toward her, and Matt does not see eye to eye. Hi, Alexa and Matt. I've brought you here today to respectfully speak with each other and resolve a conflict. Do you guys think that that's a good idea? Do you think you can resolve something?
I think it's about time we resolve something.
Respectfully? She got no respect for me. Why should I have any for her?
He's such a jerk to me all day long, and I can't stand it.
Okay, you guys. Okay, well, I want to hear what kind of issues you guys have been having, because I think we need to talk this out a little bit. What's the issue that you've been having?
I do all the work. Like, where is she?
He's so condescending all day long. He's so mean and harsh.
Yeah, I actually feel like that's not true. Like, I think both of you guys aren't putting in your fair share of work, and you need to just try harder.
Well, I think I definitely put in more work than anybody.
I've put in more work than anybody here.
I don't think so, but we'll talk more about that. Do you guys agree on what's been causing the problem?
Her.
Him.
Yeah, that's an issue. I mean, I think it's definitely both of you are making problems, and I don't really know how you're going to resolve it. Do you guys have any ideas how you could
You
resolve
just
it?
fire him.
I was going to say that too, but I don't know. Fine, lose your most valuable employee. But I think we all know where the dead weight is.
Guys, let's be honest. You guys are just minimum wage employees. You're not that valuable. But okay. well, no, it's fine. I'll play that. So, anyway, I don't know if we're gonna come to resolution today, but I do want to meet back up with you guys to see if you figured something out on your own. Okay. Tuesday? Anytime on Tuesday. You guys good?
I guess
Tuesday? I'm here from like 8 to 5, but like sometimes I go on lunch breaks and like do things, so like I might not be here, but can you guys be around? on
Probably
Tuesday?
squeeze it in.
Whatever. Okay, fine.
Work.
I'll text you guys actually. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's take this out back.
Hi, Alexa and Matt. As you know, I have asked you to meet with me today in order to resolve a conflict that has arisen between the two of you. It is very important to resolve this conflict because when there is tension between the two of you, there is tension for the whole team. This is not good because a tense team does not work well, and in order for the good of the company, we need to maintain a calm, happy, and efficient team. This conflict is also affecting your individual performances because instead of focusing on your work, this conflict is taking precedence and affecting your performances negatively. This is why I have called a problem-solving meeting. In this meeting, I hope to hear both of you and why you believe this problem is happening. Come up with possible solutions to this problem, identify ways to execute these solutions, and come to a positive solution that will be good for the whole team. Do you guys agree? That's a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, so Matt, I would like to hear what kind of issues you've been having with Alexa.
I don't have any issues with her. Apparently she has some issues with me, but I don't know what that's about.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate explaining yourself a little bit. I want to address what you said, but first I want to hear Jessica's, Alexa's point of view and listen respectfully to her as well.
He's just such a jerk. Every time he talks to me, he's so condescending, and I really can't get my work done every day because he's just so distracting, and I just can't take it anymore.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate your honesty, Alexa, being honest about your feelings and how this conflict is affecting you personally. Now that you've both listened respectfully to each other's viewpoints, would you agree that there is a conflict, and would you agree on what is causing it?
Yes.
Apparently so.
Well, Matt, I see that you're saying the cause of the conflict is that you believe that Alexa has not been putting in her share of work. You've said that before to me, I know, in passing.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And Alexa, you believe that the problem has stemmed from his criticism and condescending manner of your work and lack of appreciation for your talents. Is that
Exactly.
true also? Okay, so you're not exactly seeing eye to eye. However, I would like to point out to both of you that criticism actually has a negative effect on work. When someone is criticized, they can no longer perform their duties at the same level, and then even their work on the duties that they are highly skilled at begins to suffer. Appreciation is a much more powerful motivator, actually, and one of the most useful forms of appreciation is asking each other for help in order to show that you not only appreciate the other person's skills, but you want to learn from them too. I'm glad that you both now understand and agree on the problem, for the most part. I would like you both to generate some solutions to this problem based on the information I have given you and what you know about each other. What do you think the best way to solve this problem could be? You think helping each other out would be?
I mean, I feel like I already do most of the work anyways. If she wants to help me out, please, I would love some,
I
but
feel like there just needs to be clear communication without being jerks to one another, and just be clear on what needs to be done during the day.
I think that's a good idea.
I agree. That would be useful.
I see that you both agree on the best way to solve this problem, to no longer be so negative and to communicate better towards each other. Rather only constructive comments that come from a place of appreciation, and this way you guys will help one another grow. So Matt, I see that you said you won't be as critical and you're going to communicate better towards Alexa, and instead of offering helpful tips when you see her and offer helpful tips when you see her becoming flustered. Is that true?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, good.
Definitely something I can work on.
You've also mentioned that you would appreciate her, you mentioned this to me in passing, that you would appreciate her helping you with her customer service because she's much better at that. Is that true also?
Yeah, I suppose I could. Yeah,
that is true
Okay.
as well.
I think that will make you guys both more well-rounded. And Alexa, you'll do your best to ask for help from Matt when you become flustered and let him know that you respect how he performs and that you want to learn from him also, right?
Yes.
Great. And you've also said that you would not mind helping him improve his customer service skills and will offer help when you see an opportunity. Is that true?
I'd be happy to.
Okay, great. So today we've effectively worked through this conflict. We did this by first stating how this problem is affecting the whole company and yourselves, holding a meeting to formally work out the issue, stating your viewpoints respectfully, listening to each other, and coming to an agreement about the problem and solution, and finally working out the execution of the solution and what that looks like for both of you. I am very proud of both of you for working through this conflict today. I understand that it is difficult to sometimes see eye to eye on things, but when we all do our best to understand why everyone feels the way they do and realize that we can actually learn so much from one another, then we will be in the best shape possible as a company and a team. So in order to check on your progress in dealing with this conflict, I would like to check back in with both of you exactly a week from today. How's next Tuesday at 3 back in this office? That work for you guys?
That works.
Great. I'm glad that we're in agreement. I will see you then. Thank you for your time and effort, and please know you're both very valuable assets to the company, and we're counting on you.
Thanks.
Lauren is an employee at Adams & Company Investments. Her weekly investment reports have been turned in late over the past few weeks. This has affected our firm's decision-making ability. Lauren is receiving her second written warning. Thanks for coming in. I'm meeting with you. I think I gave you a written warning before. I forget, But
Yeah, I lost it, though.
Lost it. So basically, your performance hasn't been improving. I'm giving you another warning. I guess I don't remember what the last one was about exactly, but I imagine it's the same thing. Not getting your work done on time. So
But
You
you
gotta
haven't really
improve.
checked in with me.
yeah, I gave you the warning. I thought that would wake you up a little bit, but I guess not. So this is your second warning now. I'll try and keep better track of this one, but if you don't shape up, you might be terminated.
That's stupid.
I don't think so. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for meeting with me today. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss your second written warning. As you know, I have a verbal warning and a first written warning regarding your lack of getting work done. Now I'm giving you your second written warning. This is not acceptable here at Adams & Co. After your first two warnings, I thought you'd change your performance, but I've seen no improvement. You signed an agreement on your hiring date of your expectations, and you agreed to them, but you have not kept up with your performance. You're not getting investing reports done on time has dramatically affected our firm's ability to properly invest our clients' money. Our clients pay a lot of money to have us in charge of their finances, and when they're not done properly, it's unfair to them. When your work is not completed on time, it makes my job and my fellow coworkers harder to do their job. This is negatively affecting our firm as other employees have begun needing to complete your work. After discussing what to do with you about your performance, I'd like to hear your view.
Dante, I realize that I've been slacking lately. I don't know why. I just think I lost my motivation, especially since it's towards the end of the year. This, I know, is not tolerated here and at work, and I apologize again for negatively affecting the clients and other employees.
Well, thank you for your point of view. You are here at your second written warning. I think a great idea for correcting your actions and performance is to come into work every day more motivated and ready to work. I plan on meeting with you to go over your work and make sure it's getting completed on time. To correct your performance, I'll be checking in with you twice a week, 15 minutes prior to your shift ending. We will meet in my office and we'll go over what has been done and what work still needs to be completed. This will allow me to track your work and make sure you're getting it done on time.
I think that's a great idea, Dante. These meetings will give me the motivation for me to know that I have to get my work done.
I plan on evaluating your work every week, and then after evaluating your work, if I do not see any improvement, further action will be taken. These steps need to be taken because your actions are not acceptable.
I understand, Dante. I think this is a great way for me to get back on track.
Since today is Friday, we'll start on Monday. Starting on Monday, we'll begin twice weekly meetings on Mondays and Thursdays. We'll do this over a 3-week period to correct your actions.
I understand, and I will be at every meeting.
This meeting and the topics discussed will be typed up and kept in your employee file for us to refer back to. You will also receive an email copy from myself so you can review what has been discussed today and what needs to change.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I will see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Module 11,
This employee has failed to meet company expectations in the past 7 months that he has worked. He's been met with multiple times in an effort to improve his sales, and he has still failed to do so. In the past 30 days, he has been through a complete retraining process, and improvement is lacking. I've brought him in my office to terminate him.
Have a seat. So listen, as we've talked about before, your sales just haven't been meeting company standards. It's been 6 months now, and you really haven't responded to anything I've said, so I'm gonna fire you. Moving forward, you're not a member of this company.
What?
And well, your sales are off. You're not a salesman. This isn't cut out for you. Hopefully you can find something you enjoy. Today's your last day. You're gonna be leaving the offices this morning. I can believe it. It's been 6 months and you haven't sold anything.
Terrible job.
So
But why?
you're a bad employee, and this job is not for you.
Wow. Who knew people could be so mean? I don't want to work here. This is the treatment I get.
Good day, sir.
I'm out of
Hi, Jason. Thanks for coming in. Have a seat.
Oh, of course. What is it you want to discuss?
Well, I brought you in here along with your mentor from the last 4 weeks. As we discussed in our last meeting, your performance hasn't been meeting company standards since you started here, and that was almost 6 months ago.
Yes, and after each time we've met, I've been working to improve my sales.
When we last met, we discussed partnering you up with Joe, one of our lead sales members, so that you go through a hands-on retraining process in hopes that you'd be comfortable to perform as needed. We discussed at those times that the company could not afford to keep you on our payroll if you couldn't meet these expectations. It had been stated in our last few meetings that failure to improve after these final chances would result in termination. I've been working very closely with Joe to monitor this process and to make sure that you would respond accordingly. To be completely candid with you, your performance has not improved. I was looking for hard work and noticeable improvement. From the reports from Joe and what I've seen as your manager, you've not been able to conduct yourself as an efficient and sales-driven employee. You know that this is what we look for on our team, and since you can't meet these expectations or the minimum requirements, I've decided your terminations are our last option. I want you to know that this decision is final, and that's the reason I brought you in here today.
Well, to be honest, I am surprised. I thought that my training was going well, and I made a point to make my hard work evident. I was expecting the last time we met to be a turning point. I felt like it was, and I am now left feeling disappointed in myself.
Moving forward, I'd like to let you know that our HR team is going to meet with you after this meeting. They're going to finalize your separation from the company. Any remaining pay or severance, they'll help you out with some outplacement. I also need to let you know that your company email and access to any online accounts has been removed. John and I are going to walk down to the HR office with you and help in moving some of your things out during the security check. I hope moving forward from this you find a new position somewhere else that's better suited to you and that you can develop a passion for it. I wish you the best.